Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fishing with James. This is episode 12 of my hand-tied jig series, and today I'm going to be showing you how to tie a crappie jig that I call Sour Melon. So let's go ahead and get started. The jig that I'm going to be using today is a 16th ounce ball head jig with a number 4 sickle hook, and I've painted it with pink protec powder paint. So to start off, we're just going to add a little bit of super glue down the hook, and after that we're going to take our thread and wrap it from the head all the way down even with the point of the hook, just like that. Then I'm just going to dab up any extra super glue with a small piece of paper towel and take my scissors and cut the tag into the thread. So I really want this vibrant pink color for this jig, so for the tail I'm going to be using a pink Marabou feather. So for size, I want it to be about the length of the hook, so I'm going to put it up next to it, and once I have the size about where I want it, I'm just going to tie it into the jig, just like this. And then I'm going to turn the jig sideways and make sure that I have it sized up. And once it's properly sized, I'm going to take my thread and wrap it all the way up to the head of the jig, just like I'm doing right here. Now I'm just going to cut the extra feather off with my scissors, and then I'm going to take my thread and tie in the feather just a little bit more to make sure it's nice and tight to the hook. Just like that. For the flash for this jig, I'm going to be using this nice bright Chartreuse crystal flash. And so I'm going to take a piece of that and cut it in half, and I'm going to take that half and cut it in half again, so that when I stack them, I have two pieces of flash on each side of the jig, just like this. Now I'm just going to take the flash and hold it to each side of the jig with my fingers, just like that. And you want it to be even. It sometimes is going to want to twist down, so you have to be a little bit careful of that. And you're just going to tie it down even with where you've tied everything else. And once you've done that, you're going to go all the way back up to the head of the jig with your thread. And right here, I got them a little bit uneven, so I'm just going to take them and manipulate them up with my fingers a little bit. You have to be careful not to bend the flash because it will bend or crease. But you're just going to try and move it around. And once it's about even, I think that's going to be good right there. I'm going to take my scissors and cut it just a little bit past the feather. So to really bring together this sour watermelon look, I'm going to be using this Grasshopper crystal chenille. So I'm just going to tie it to the jig just like this and wrap all the way down even where I've tied everything else. I usually turn the jig sideways here just so I can wrap exactly to where I need to wrap to. Then I'm going to go back up to the head and set the thread off to the side. So now I'm going to use the rotary function on my vise to rotate this chenille onto the jig. Now this chenille is really thin, so it's going to take a lot of wraps to get it even. But once you get it up to the head of the jig and it looks nice and uniform, we'll call that good right there. I'm just going to take my thread and wrap underneath the chenille to tie it in, then over, under again, over again, one more time under, and a few more times over just to make sure it's tied very tightly to the jig. Then I'm just going to cut the chenille with my scissors and pull out any extra fuzzy bits that want to stay behind. Now I'm just going to take my whip finishing tool and do a double whip finish. So I'm going to do 4 wraps of thread and pull it tight. Then I'm going to do another 4 or 5 wraps of thread right here and pull it tight again. So there you have it, a sour melon crappie jig. Now, I've never shown you guys what these jigs look like wet, so this is what this jig looks like after you've wet it and it's in the water. I mean, this thing slims up really nicely and that feather really moves around a lot in the water. Now, all that's left to do is to bag these jigs up, put a sticker on the bag, and these things are ready to get out and catch some crappie. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next episode of Hand Tied Jigs.